What if I told you that the pain you're feeling right now, it's not just your joints acting up. It might be something deeper. It might be your body's memory finally speaking up after being quiet for too long. Have you ever noticed that the places we hurt the most are often the ones we've ignored the longest? A knee that carried you through millions of steps, a shoulder that held weight no one else ever saw, a hand that's worked, reached, held, and let go now trembling from a small ache. Nobody talks about it, but deep down we know our bodies remember. And sometimes they don't hurt because they're old or broken. They hurt because they've done too much in too much silence. I'm a doctor, I'm 70 years old. I've sat across from thousands of patients. And I've heard stories, the kind they never teach in medical school. Some people hurt because of injury, some because of inflammation, but most. They hurt because, for years, they stopped paying attention to themselves. I remember one patient who said to me, "I don't even complain anymore, doc. Everyone just says, 'You're old, deal with it.'" And I sat there quietly for a long time. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I knew. That one sentence, if believed, can take away someone's hope. So if you're watching this video right now, no, I don't have a magic wand, and no, I can't heal you through a screen. But I'm here to remind you of this. Your body is still alive, and as long as it's alive, it can still heal. The pain you're feeling, it's not a life sentence. It's a gentle reminder from within, I'm still here. And I've been waiting for you to listen. This isn't a lecture. This is a conversation between me, someone who spent a lifetime walking alongside pain, and you, someone brave enough to sit down and finally listen to your own body. You're not in pain because you're old, you're in pain because your body hasn't been heard in a long, long time. If you're still here listening to me, maybe there's a small question beginning to rise in your mind. If joint pain isn't just about getting older, then where is it really coming from? And I'm so glad you're asking that, because that question is often the beginning of everything, and maybe the beginning of your healing too. Let me paint a picture for you. If age were truly the main cause of joint pain, then why are there 75-year-olds still walking every morning, gardening, even playing tennis, while others in their early 60s rely on canes or pain pills every day? I've met both kinds of people in my clinic, and over the years, I've paid close attention to what makes them different. It's not your age, it's how you live each year. Modern medicine is clear. Getting older doesn't directly cause joint pain. According to the Mayo Clinic, aging can thin the cartilage in your joints. But that alone doesn't cause pain, unless it's paired with other factors like chronic inflammation, muscle and tissue weakness from lack of movement, reduced synovial fluid due to inactivity, a high-sugar, high-fat diet, ongoing stress and poor sleep. Harvard Health put it this way: aging is inevitable, but joint pain is not. The quality of your joints in your 60s and 70s depends more on your choices than your birthday. And I couldn't agree more. Your body isn't breaking down, it's responding. I once had a patient named Bill. He was 66, walked into my office with a cane, each step slow and stiff. He said, "I already know why I hurt, doc, I'm just old." I looked at him for a moment and asked, "Did you know there are people 10 years older than you who don't use a cane?" He chuckled, a little embarrassed. "They're probably just luckier than I am." But the truth is they were. They weren't lucky. They simply didn't let their bodies stay silent for too long. Let me explain this a bit more in medical terms, but I promise I'll keep it simple. Your joints are where two bones meet. In between, you've got cartilage, which cushions those bones, and synovial fluid, which keeps everything moving smoothly. But here's the catch. Your body only produces enough synovial fluid when you move. If you sit too long, lie down too much, stop rotating or stretching, that fluid drops, and when that happens, bone starts to grind on bone. And that's when the pain begins. According to the Cleveland Clinic, movement is what keeps the joints healthy. Stillness over time becomes damage. A short sentence but worth remembering. Motion is medicine. Stillness invites decay. And then there's inflammation. Eat too much sugar, drink soda, rely on fast food, skip sleep. And your body starts releasing chemical messengers, like cytokines, interleukin-6, TNF-alpha. These little guys enter your bloodstream and attack your joints, causing swelling, stiffness, pain, even though you didn't do anything wrong. Harvard Medical School calls this low-grade systemic inflammation. It won't make you spike a fever. It won't knock you flat like the flu, but it will quietly erode your joints year after year after year. So if you've ever thought, "But I haven't injured myself, why does it still hurt?" There's your answer. It's not about trauma. It's not about bad luck. It's your body trying to speak up after being ignored for too long. And here's one more thing I need you to remember. Don't confuse natural with unavoidable. Some people tell me, "Doc, I've made peace with it. Getting old just means hurting more." I usually smile and ask them a question. If you're hungry, do you eat? If you're cold, do you grab a sweater? Then why, when you're in pain, would you think you're supposed to just live with it? I'm not saying you need to run 5 miles a day or go on some crazy diet. I'm just saying, your body is waiting for you to come back to it. And if you take just one small step each day, it will answer. There's a rule I live by in my clinic. If you move it, you keep it. If you ignore it, you lose it. Simple as that. So what should you do now? Don't overthink it. Don't start Googling workouts or cutting everything out of your diet. Not yet. Start here with gentleness. Tomorrow morning, sit up slowly, rub your knees a little, stretch your fingers 10 times. Instead of a third cup of coffee, try a glass of warm water. And when the old thought creeps in, I guess I'm just getting old. Try asking this instead. What is my body trying to tell me today? Because that is where healing begins. Not in a bottle of pills, not in some miracle cure, but in your willingness to listen to the body you've lived in your entire life. Backhand index pointing right in the next part of this video, I'll share a special story about a 64-year-old woman who used to depend on pain meds just to get through the day, and how a few simple changes helped her find freedom in her legs again. And if you've ever told yourself, maybe I just can't anymore, her story might just change your mind. Some pain doesn't need a cure, it just needs to be heard. I want to tell you a story about a woman named Ellen. She came into my clinic one October morning. The air was chilly, the sky gray. She was 64, small frame, her left knee slightly swollen, her right arm barely able to lift past her chest. She didn't walk fast or slow. She walked like every step was her way of testing if she could still trust her own body. When she sat down, she didn't speak for a while, so I waited. Then she looked at me and said, very quietly, "I'm not hoping for much, doctor. I just want to be able to pour myself a cup of tea in the morning without having to call my husband." That sentence hit me hard, not because it was sad, but because it was so honest. Ellen used to be a school teacher. She loved painting, loved reading, loved the quiet of early mornings. But for 7 years, she had been living with this dull, persistent ache in her knees, her arms, her shoulders. Every morning, 2 ibuprofen. Every night, a small glass of wine, not for pleasure, but to take the edge off the pain. I asked her, "Have you ever tried any kind of exercise?" She shook her head. "I'm scared. Every time I move, I feel worse." I asked, "How many hours do you sleep at night?" "Maybe 4. I usually wake up from the pain." "What do you eat for breakfast?" "A slice of white bread, some butter and black coffee." I didn't judge her, because I knew she wasn't avoiding getting better. She just had never been shown another way. I looked her in the eyes and said, "Ellen, your joints aren't broken. They're just calling out for help." I didn't write her a prescription. I didn't hand her a workout plan. I just said, "Tomorrow, sit by the window. Pour yourself a warm glass of water. Breathe deeply 5 times, not to fix the pain, but to remind your body you're still here." That's how we started, small. Then she agreed to do one more thing, open and close her fingers 10 times each morning. I suggested she swap the white bread for boiled eggs and a little avocado. Cut down on the coffee, drink more water. Add a spoonful of chia seeds to her breakfast. Nothing magical, no pressure. Just simple changes, repeated each day. 2 weeks later, she called me. Her voice was lighter, like something inside had dusted itself off. "I poured my own tea today, doctor. First time I've done that without pain." I smiled and said, "I'm not surprised. Your body is starting to believe in you again." 3 months later, Ellen could walk around her yard. No cane, no morning pain meds. 6 months later, she sent me a photo taken in Vermont, surrounded by red autumn trees. At the bottom, a handwritten note. "I climbed that hill, not because I'm completely pain-free, but because I finally knew I could keep going even if there's still a little pain." Ellen wasn't a miracle. She's someone just like you, just like me, just like millions of others who once believed that pain was something they had to live with. But she changed, not with force, but with gentle belief and small actions repeated over and over again. I'm not telling you this story to make you feel emotional. I'm telling you because healing doesn't start with a prescription. It starts with a tiny decision, repeated long enough to become a turning point. So if you wake up tomorrow and you're still in pain, please don't get discouraged. I just want you to sit down for a moment. Place your hand on your knee and whisper to yourself, I'm still here and I won't abandon myself anymore. Backhand index pointing right in the next part. I'm going to share with you 3 common daily habits that seem harmless, but they're secretly wearing down your joints, little by little. And more importantly, I'll show you how to shift them gently, without pressure, without force. You don't need to become someone new, you just need to come home to yourself. It's not your fault. You just weren't told that your joints need love too, and a different kind of care. I want you to think back to your day today. How long have you been sitting? Did you drink any water? What did your last meal look like? Any greens on the plate? Did you get up, stretch, rotate your knees? Or did you wait until something started to hurt before you paid attention? I'm not asking to make you feel guilty. I'm asking because so many of my patients over the years weren't in pain because they did something wrong. They were in pain because they were living with old habits, habits that had followed them for decades. And no one ever stopped to tell them, hey, that thing you do every day, it might actually be hurting you. Exclamation mark habit 1, sitting too long without moving. You already know this one. When we were younger, we could sit for hours and not feel a thing. But once you hit 60, 65, just staying in one position for 30, 40 minutes can cause your joints to stiffen up. I had a patient, Harold, 71. Every morning he sat and watched the news for 2 straight hours without getting up. When he stood, his knees would lock. Every step after that looked like his whole body was dragging along for the ride. I told him, Harold, your joints don't like being ignored. Every 30 minutes, just stand up and take a few steps like you're saying hello to them. And would you believe it? 2 weeks later, he called me and said, Doc, I climbed the stairs today, and there wasn't even a crackle. The Cleveland Clinic once wrote, prolonged sitting reduces synovial fluid production, causing stiffness and cartilage wear. In plain words, sitting too long dries up the fluid that keeps your joints smooth. And over time, that leads to grinding, stiffness, and pain. Exclamation mark habit 2, eating foods that trigger inflammation without realizing it. One thing I hear often is, but doc, I don't eat that badly. Why am I still in pain? Then we take a closer look. White bread, processed meats, diet soda, 3 cups of coffee a day, sweetened condensed milk, packaged cookies or crackers. None of these will poison you on the spot. But together, day after day, they feed what we call silent inflammation. According to Harvard Health Publishing, chronic low-grade inflammation, triggered by diet, is a major factor in joint degeneration after age 60. So no, I'm not asking you to give up everything. I just want you to try one thing: add some green vegetables to your lunch. Use a little less sugar in your coffee. Swap the cookies for a few slices of cucumber. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to walk gently in the other direction. Exclamation mark habit 3, not getting enough sleep or sleeping at odd hours every night. I know it might not sound like it's related to your joints, but trust me, it is. Your body repairs damaged tissues, including cartilage and ligaments, while you sleep. If you're not sleeping deeply or not sleeping on a regular schedule, you're not making enough of the hormones that help your joints heal. Things like melatonin and growth hormone. The Mayo Clinic put it this way: poor sleep quality increases pain sensitivity and delays tissue repair. So if you're up late, tossing and turning, waking up groggy, you're stealing healing time from your own body. I once told a patient to just try turning off the TV 30 minutes earlier. Dim the lights, play some calming music before bed. She called me a week later and said, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but my joints feel calmer in the morning. I told her it wasn't a coincidence. Her body was finally getting a chance to do what it's designed to do. Recover. Direct hit. You don't have to fix everything. Just start listening. If you see yourself in one of these 3 habits, don't worry. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to remind you, your body is offering you an opportunity. And that opportunity is still open as long as you're willing to start. You don't need to become perfect. You just need to become a little more kind. To your knees, your shoulders, your back, your body. Backhand index pointing right in the next part, I'll show you some simple actions, things that take just a few minutes a day, that can gently activate your body's ability to heal your joints. No pills, no pressure. No pushing yourself past your limits. If you've come this far with me, then I believe you're ready. You don't have to do it all, you just have to begin, because your body has been waiting for you to come back. I know you've probably heard a lot of advice over the years. Exercise 30 minutes every day. Cut out all sugar. No coffee. See a specialist, get tests done, get injections. And I also know that kind of advice. Sometimes it makes you feel even more exhausted than the pain itself. So today, I'm not giving you a checklist of things you have to do. I'm not here to overwhelm you. I just want us to start something simple, something small, but enough for your body to feel that you're finally coming back to it. First, send a gentle signal to your joints. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't jump out of bed. Just sit there for a moment. Let your legs dangle. Now take your hands and gently rub your knees. Not to make the pain go away, just to remind them, I see you, I'm here. Then slowly stretch your legs out in front of you. Bend them back in. Do that 5 times, slowly, gently, no pushing, no forcing. It's like giving your joints a warm-up before gravity gets involved. The Cleveland Clinic once said, gentle morning movements help stimulate synovial fluid production and reduce stiffness for the rest of the day. Translation, a little kindness to your joints in the morning goes a long way for the rest of your day. Second, make just one meal a little kinder to your joints. I'm not talking about going on a diet. Just pick one meal and make it a little better. If you usually have white bread and coffee in the morning, try swapping that for 2 boiled eggs, half an avocado, and a glass of warm lemon water. If you crave salty snacks in the afternoon, keep some walnuts, pumpkin seeds, or carrot sticks ready in the fridge. You don't have to change everything. You just have to give your body better building blocks, so it can start repairing itself again. Harvard Medical School says, foods rich in omega-3, antioxidants, and magnesium help reduce joint inflammation and slow cartilage breakdown. Let your food be part of the healing, not another silent injury. Third, reset your sleep rhythm so your joints can heal at night. If you often stay up late, scroll through your phone, or fall asleep at random hours, try one small thing, pick a bedtime and stick to it. Turn off your screens 30 minutes earlier. Play soft music. Dim the lights. Soak your feet in warm water. Take a few deep breaths. You don't need to sleep 8 perfect hours right away. Just start treating your sleep as part of your healing. The Mayo Clinic reminds us, the body repairs cartilage and reduces inflammatory response primarily during deep sleep stages. Sleep is your body's quiet medicine. Don't skip the dose. Light bulb, you don't need to do all 3 every day. Just pick one, just one. And if you stick with it for 7 days, 10 days, your body will start to answer back. I've seen it again and again over the last 40 years. People who didn't believe they could recover. And then one small change led to another. They came back to my office, not asking for more pills, but saying something so simple, it stays with me every time. Doc, I feel like I'm coming back to life. Brain, don't think of recovery as this big goal. Think of it like tending a small garden. You can't grow the whole thing in a day, but you can water one plant, you can pull one weed. You can show up again tomorrow and do just a little more. Your joints are no different. They're not asking for a miracle, they're asking for you to show up again. Backhand index pointing right in the final part of this video, I'll share something deeply personal. A message I give to every patient of mine, and to myself when things feel heavy. We'll close this journey not with promises, but with the quiet belief that as long as you're still here, there is still hope for healing. Pain is not a sentence, it's a gentle reminder from within. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want to take a moment, not to add anything new, but to look at you, the way I've looked at hundreds of my patients over the last 40 years and say, I know this journey isn't easy, but if you're still here listening, that means you haven't given up on yourself, and that deserves to be honored. Together, we've revisited something most people assume to be true. That joint pain is just a part of getting older. But today, maybe, you've seen something more clearly. It's not always like that. Not entirely. You've learned that. It's not age that causes the pain, it's the way we've lived through the years. Your body can recover if you're willing to start with even the smallest step. And pain, instead of being the end of the story, can be the pause that brings you back to yourself. So let me ask you something. A question only you can answer. What will you do with the pain that's present in your life today? Will you keep enduring it in silence? Or will you try something, just one small thing like Ellen did? A warm glass of water in the morning. A gentle stretch. A quiet moment by the window. Can you be kind enough to yourself to begin from there? I know not everyone will make a change overnight, and that's perfectly okay. But if you're still here with me, still listening, then I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen, to reflect, to ask real questions of yourself. You've done something many never do. You pause to hear what your body has been trying to say. And to me, that alone is worth celebrating. Before you go, I have one small message. Start something today, even if it's just one thing. And if the pain doesn't improve after a while, please talk to your doctor. Don't suffer in silence. Your body deserves to be heard, cared for, and supported the right way. If this video has given you anything, a bit of hope, a deeper understanding, or even just a quiet moment to reflect, then I'm truly grateful you were here. Hit that subscribe button to keep walking this journey with me and the team here at Vigor Without Age. A place where health, awareness, and a fulfilling life beyond 60 are always front and center. Speech balloon, and you know what? I'd love to hear from you. What are you going through right now? Which part of the video spoke to you the most? Tell me in the comments below. I read every word. Wishing you strength in your body, peace in every breath, and happiness in the way only you can feel it. Thank you for being here, and may good things keep finding you on this path of healing, one day at a time. Backhand index pointing right, this isn't the end. This is the beginning, and you're not walking it alone.